is how we brew it. This is how we brew it. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. I don't know how to rap. This is how we brew it. I don't know how to do this. We're making it up as we go, everyone.
Homebrew is where the heart is. It's where dungeon masters, murder hobos, dice goblins, and chaos gremlins come together to turn big ideas into unforgettable adventures. So how do you take that spark, a setting ability mechanic, and turn it into something that actually works at the table? Your table. It's simple. We brew it. We've got 6 flavorful categories to walk through designed to help you build campaigns that capture the feel of your favorite worlds and IPs. Today, we're doing Tron Ares. Ooh. And we're going to go through 6 categories. Base build, one of the core components, are resonance and vibe. This is where we make our poetic hearts sing, especially my little cyberpunk heart. E, extra froth, what makes this wildly fun. W, weird for us, that strange little twist you'd never find on D&D Beyond. I, inciting quest, every good campaign needs a reason to leave home, or probably in the context of Tron, stay at home and play your video game and have a cool light cycle. And T, threat level, let's talk the danger. Who or what is the big bad and why is it a major corporation? So Taylor, Tron Ares, as we record this, has not come out just yet. We haven't had a chance to see it in the theater. I'm probably going to go see it because I really like Tron. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to try and guess what this movie is about based on the trailer we just watched for it. And then you tell me, based on the official synopsis, how accurate you think I am. Okay, so from the trailers that I've watched, this is a cyberpunk movie. It's a sequel to Tron, and it looks like the video game is coming to life outside of the game itself into the real world. And Jared Leto is that, and he's dangerous. Apparently, it looks like there might be like, I can't tell. So I'm going to guess Jared Leto is like a super soldier and he's like deviating from his programming, and somebody is like, yeah, that's a good idea. But even though he's slightly like evil, and we can't tell if that's a good idea or not. Because at one point he's like hunting down the main character or whatever, and then eventually they turn it around and they decide just to fight the dystopian corporatocracy overlords, and that's it. That's what I got. How did I do?
That's pretty good. I give it an 8.
Okay. Nice.
1 off because neither of us actually know.
Sure.
So like it would be unfair to even get close to a 10. But you were very close. I think the thing you left out is that, according to the synopsis, it's mainly about sentient artificial intelligence being an anti-hero, not an antagonist.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay,
apparently it's more about like, I mean, you kind of hinted at it, to be completely fair, so maybe I'm unfair and you should get a 9. But yeah, it seems like it's about, the AI deciding who it should be in the context of this world as it leaves the grid.
Yeah, got it.
It's very fascinating. It's very fascinating synopsis. I actually really like the synopsis, but yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so even though we haven't watched this movie, we know the vibes, right? And we can have the like what we would want this story to be about. And regardless, we both like Tron. We both watched Tron, and we know the bones of the system. And as this movie is coming out, right around when this movie will be, whatever this episode will be released, I want to just talk about how we try and accomplish the general vibes of Tron, and also get to some of these themes they're gonna hit. So. Let's start with the essentials and components. What are the essentials for Tron in general?
I think the essentials for Tron is that you have to have, whether you are playing like a digitally created entity or being, or you are playing against them, there has to be some sort of like artificial intelligence, like video game-esque type being or character or humanoid that is like a part of the game. Again, whether that be you or the people you're playing against or the NPCs around you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the important parts for Tron in general are, like, as a whole, not Tron Ares, but specifically, but the whole series is there is a separate world that is entirely digital or not real. Like it's real, but it's not, right? And the point of Ares appears to be that it was not real and it's becoming real, like it's becoming physical. But to just start, you probably want to establish some sort of status quo where the game's not real, right? And but there is some sort of game, or there is some sort of alternate dimension that's just whatever. So in the D&D context, you could literally have it be a modern setting. You're just using D&D as a way to do this, and you jump into a video game, and the video game is like a D&D world, but the real world is a regular world. That's what a novel idea, almost. If I was like, I don't know where I would ever come up with that. But there's also other possibilities, just for the record. Like if you wanted to do this straight D&D and like in a fantasy setting, like you could have it so like, okay, there's a dream world and there's a regular world. And it'd be really fascinating if you're just a regular peasant, an NPC, and you own like a like apple stand in a market, and you don't do anything during the day, right? Yeah. But at night you dream of being an adventurer and hero, and in your dreams you're a major adventurer and you're accomplishing a bunch of stuff, and you have people and parties, etc. And then you realize, oh, there's something greater going on here. So like there's two different angles of whether you want to do the modern or the fantasy setting. There's ways to do it. In the other world, you get to be someone you're not in the real world. And that's a huge part for me. So you'd want to create that plot delineation.
That's good.
Okay. Otherwise, for essentials, like honestly, like the other essential for me is like the vibe is essential for every cyberpunk type deal. Like if it's not the right music, if it's not the right like tone and the right themes, you're going to be missing out on a lot. So like Tron and all cyberpunk literature and stories have some sort of interplay between money, power, and technology, and the way that it affects humanity. Ready Player One, Blade Runner, these types of things are all dystopian in some sort of way, or like they have this fear of tech, but also tech is so powerful, and it's often associated with corporatocracy. So I would very much want to encourage also from a world building perspective to have that sort of themes and feels around, whether it's in the modern era, which is a little bit easier to write nowadays, tragic, but it is, or in the fantasy setting, it's like, hey, like there's like one or two guilds that run everything, and they're just eating everything up, and magic and technology, probably magic in this scenario, is just becoming so powerful that people are starting to do more and more things. If you were to take it to the extreme, you might even say stuff like true resurrection and resurrection spells are just easy now. They're no longer, 9th level spells or whatever. They're like 5th level spells. And so it's just easy. And so people are not afraid of death, and everything is starting to lose its meaning because magic has improved so much that people don't die. And then you go into the dream world and trying to dream of adventure where stakes are real and all this sort of stuff. So I've sort of tapped into our resonance and vibe. Anything else you would want for the right vibes?
Oh, like in a D&D context, like this is like it still being fantastical, and then you're dreaming of being an adventurer, yada yada. I think what you were talking about with like cyberpunk, I kind of think if you're gonna do a one shot that is Tron in any way, shape, or form, like inspired, I think you gotta take it cyberpunk all the way. Like I think it has to be sci-fi. I don't even know like how, like I think the vibes can be, you can have an essence of fantastical, but like I don't know, I think it kind of has to be a video game, or like it kind of has to be, like it kind of has to be a video game either come to life or that you get sucked into, because even in the first Tron movie, it's like homeboy gets thrown in, like like he's in the video game, you know what I mean? And so it's like one of the worlds, you have to cross one of those boundaries, and I think the vibe is like, so, and sorry, I'm getting back into essentials a little bit, but but I think with the vibe, it's like what makes the vibe cool is that it's a video game that is real now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a fun vibe. You know?
Yeah. I would definitely encourage people to stick to the modern video game type setting. I think it makes it much more real. If you want to just have the video game be a fantasy RPG, like then that's easy translation. But still, it would become real. You'd get that sort of Sword Art Online Matrix vibe.
Yeah.
Which I love. One of my favorite movies ever is The Matrix. Yeah. So very cool. Oh, just as a small aside for vibes too, like there's no way, because D&D is not a visual medium, for everything to be neon lights, but you need to kind of get that going. So like even if it's just like you buy those little like neon like rings thing, the little things you crack and there's neon
glow sticks,
like glow sticks. That's right. Or like you have good
Oh,
you have good lighting in your room, and you like make sure you buy some neon lights. Like the vibe, like honestly, that vibe would make a huge difference of like, oh
yeah.
yeah, like the lights are off, but we've got glow sticks and stuff and we're playing. Like I would honestly, it would make me so much more hype, because it's like, because Tron is half the vibes for Tron is the cool aesthetic of the light cycles doing their thing. Okay, so but speaking of light cycles, actually, extra froth, like I would really want that sequence to be a thing. Like you want to be
Yeah.
able to travel on these light cycles and ride around. And 5th edition doesn't have any fancy mechanics for how to drive motorcycles or vehicles or anything. How would we accomplish cool, interesting, engaging, like mounted motorcycle combat? But like, how would you fight on top of it? Anything specific you would do?
Fighting with motorcycle mechanics or like mounted mechanics?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fascinating. I wonder if it's like in the same way that you do like when you have like beast companions or familiars that like have like health and actions and stuff. I wonder if it's like if it's that, but like you're on the thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if you were riding a horse, you're like you would get a bonus action to tell your horse what to do. Or, you know, or it's like to steer, or it's like that kind of thing. And it's like, so you could like sacrifice a bonus action and like you like, cause you could like hit with it, or you can like you have like a sharp turn action. Like you could like in front of them, but then they have to like use a reaction and like roll to like not hit it or jump over it. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that might be fascinating. So it's like thinking about like, what would you do with a familiar in D&D, or what would you do with like an animal companion? It's kind of like treating the motorcycle almost the same way, maybe. But making it the actions like really cool and specific, you know?
Right. Assuming you're constantly riding on this thing and you're like moving around, I would definitely say like bonus action, movement action taken up by the fact that you're like just driving, and anytime you're not doing that, like if you're saying, hey, I want to not focus on driving and I want to like, you know, try and find something in my backpack, right? That would be a check, right? Of dexterity check to try and like handle this, right? You may consider creating a unique skill called driving, piloting, or whatever in order to make this happen. But regardless, like you would be able to reach into that. The other thing is absolutely the light cycle should have health, and it should have an AC. As you're driving and riding around, I do think you can use the cover mechanics in D&D and treat yourself as always having at least like 1/4 cover, because you're driving and it's hard to hit things while you're moving. And there's that way also, though, you can start to treat the motorcycle as cover because you can use it that way, right? Like it can be like you want the epic scene where you're like, all right, I'm going to hang off the side of the motorcycle and like I'm going to like move to the side, and the person's going to try to hit me and I'm not even there. So like they're going to try to hit my hand, which is on like the seat. And like that's like 3/4 cover or whatever. And the people from afar can't really shoot me. So cover, health, and then treat it like a familiar from a mechanical standpoint. Amazing. That's super good. Any weird things just for us then? Because that's like plenty of extra froth. Unless you wanted some extra froth too, but
no, that was great. That's plenty of extra froth. That cup is frothy, man. You know me. I am a sucker for a playlist. And I think when it comes to this, I think the thing that was really beautiful about the first Tron, or at least the first Tron of my era, because I know there was technically a remake, that Daft Punk was like the artist of the movie. And in the same way that like, what is it, 9 is going to be the artist for Ares, I think you need to like pick an artist, preferably EDM, house, dubstep, like that era. Synthwave is a lot of the music that I've been listening to when it comes to sci-fi stuff. And a lot of the music that I use is a fun little YouTube channel called Synthwave Boy. But that it's like stuff like that that I think you can like pick an artist or pick a very specific vibe. Again, I would stick to an artist just because I think that can be easier and is more indicative of the movie. And that would be like weird for me. It's like pick that music and like that is the vibe for the whole one shot or the whole campaign, you know?
Right. Well, to promote it, I'll even include it in the show notes of one of the reasons why we're doing this is because I've made my own system called 0 Day. And 0 Day, I think, is perfect to run Tron, and specifically Tron Ares, as things become manifested in the real world. We've got mechanics for how to do all of this sort of stuff, so I would love if you check that out. But even if you're just looking for a good vibes playlist, we have a 0 Day playlist that's out there for these types of vibes, where I've curated a bunch of different stuff. Good for boss battles, good for chill moments, and it's a mix of everything. And I've also literally like ordered all like 60 songs on there in order, how I think you should listen to it for like dramatic cinematic vibes. You can also just copy paste it, do whatever you want with it. But it's out there. I'll include it in the show notes, and that's a really cool little thing. But also check out 0 Day because it's kind of cool, and it's designed to be able to play in a video game world and have a separate character as well. For mechanics, you may be asking, how do I do that? We've got mechanics for that and how it all works. Overall, would love for you to check that out. Okay, to keep going, for the inciting quest, what is the inciting quest for our campaign?
Ooh, we talking about Tron Ares, or are we talking about Tron in general?
Tron in general, but Ares is, if we can try and do Ares, that's great.
I think we should do Ares.
Uh-huh.
I think the inciting quest should be, personally, but all the party members are like different, have a different relation to this company that opens a rift and allows this like sentient like video game artificial intelligence to walk into the world, and that all of you are characters. Either you are like the assistant to the head of the company, or you're like just like a desk worker that like accidentally like passed by the wrong room, or you're like one of the security guards, or you're like
the heir to the heir to the fortune, and
or you're the heir to the
emotionally
fortune.
Unavailable and is super famous. Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
I don't know where you would get this idea, Taylor.
So funny. Or you're like a kid on like Bring Your Daughter to Work Day, and you're like 12 and you shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
I think all of those things, like, I think that makes a really fascinating, inciting incident that you're like, whether you're there on accident or not, and I think you should vary that. That you're all there to witness this emergence, and it goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, it goes horribly wrong. And if the AI is supposed to be the anti-hero, then what I would say, and this is very indicative for cyberpunk, right, is the true evil and the true villain is not any individual person. It is ultimately like society / corporatocracy. So that's the villain. And like bureaucracy is sort of it. Like
we love a little bit of capitalism.
Yeah, capitalism is it. Like that's the true evil here. That's like, it's gone way too far. Like anytime you take something that's just like good and you give it too much of anything is too much, right? So you've created that. So I would make this, like, when we talk about threat level, who's the ultimate bad villain or whatever, like I think from the mechanical fighting standpoint, like I don't think there is like some big evil boss you fight that is like also the villain who's evil, right? If you're gonna go into the video game, like there's plenty of video game monsters you could fight, and you could have epic quests to solve big problems, right? You could do all that. Maybe the anti-hero character of the AI and the party disagree at one point, they fight each other, and that's a big boss level combat. But I would say there is no big boss, because cyberpunk is the cyberpunk world is the boss of evil, and that's the true evil. What would be like a way we can create an interesting epic combat? Like what's one of those like random ideas I threw out, or like one of your own that would be like, this is a really cool big combat to throw in at some point, because it'd be really epic, and we still want big epic fights. It's just tougher in a cyberpunk world.
Yeah, I think one of the things that are exciting about a cyberpunk world is that, especially something that we've just created here, in this video, is the big epic combat can be a combination. It has to be the true clash of both worlds. So it's like, if the big bad is the corporation, if it's the idea of capitalism, of corporatocracy. How do you say that?
Corporatocracy. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I did it right. But if it's really that like that final face off that gives us the lesson that we need, what is the way in which the artificial intelligence equips all the party members so like they have all the tools that they need? What is the way that like you guys are geared up like you're in a video game, and the head of the corporation, like the CEO, is like also geared up too, and you didn't know that he was prepared that way. You know what I mean? I think there's a way in which like you guys face each other off in the modern world at like the top of the corporation, like on the roof or something. And then you all have like this weird tricked out gear and these like cool like weapons that are all video game-esque, and you have all this cool armor, right? And you guys are fighting each other with video game style moves and abilities in the real world on a rooftop, and it's raining and there's wind and there's like a flying video game-esque airship filming the whole thing and broadcasting it across the world. Like, I think that's like this cool cinematic boss battle, that the thing that you would need, you know, that's the true face-off between the ideas.
I love that. If we were going to do true cyberpunk vibes, you defeating the CEO and the party doing all this is a cool, great big victory. And then a corporation in the next 15 years should absolutely take their place, and it all goes back to the same.
A 100, and that's Camp Vance Chapter 2.
Yeah. But yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That has to be the extra froth just for me, because cyberpunk is always supposed to be implied. There's no all hope is micro, never macro. But okay, let's do a recap of everything we just talked about. So we were talking about how do we do Tron in a D&D context, and we wanted to figure out how to make this like an alternate world scenario. We did talk about if you want to do it in a straight up D&D setting, we could have it be people are regular people and they enter dreams, but we suggested you do it in a modern setting and everyone enters a video game of some sort. We really want to have cyberpunk themes, so when you want to have a big corporation or guild or big moneymaker, and that is so powerful and so big that it's really hard for anyone else to mess around with it, and to create that right vibe. And then we wanted great music, pretty much, in order to make this happen, because most of the other Dungeons & Dragons conventions totally work for what we're trying to accomplish, especially if you do a video game, and the video game is just a fantasy video game. You're all set. Some of the extra stuff for us was we wanted to treat the light cycle as a familiar, give it health, and give everyone partial cover to simulate the difficulty of hitting people. And then you can also have some interesting amounts of combat. We use cover mechanics. And for the final pieces, there's no real or true villain because the corporation is the villain. We can have that represented in a final clash between the CEO, all powered up by video game, as the party is assisted by the anti-hero AI, also gets that on the roof of the corporation building. And they defeat them, and that's a happy day, but eventually the corporatocracy returns. Also, of course, as I mentioned in a little bit of talking about all this, that we've got a system called 0 Day that we would love for you to check out on Kickstarter that's just forming a community. You just want to play test it. There's no financial things involved yet. We're just like, hey, we would love to get a bunch of people's opinion as we build this out and test it out, and we need your help to make that happen. Check it out. It's very, very, very themed around these things because I love the Matrix and Tron and all this sort of stuff, and it's perfectly built for all those types of things. So we would love for you to check it out, especially if you're trying to figure out how do I play a regular world and a video game at the same time. And just spoiler alert, like Taylor is the GM for our playtest right now, and he's running this, and so it's really great running around, and the story or incident he may or may not have suggested may or may not be actually what's going on in our campaign right now. But it'll be our official campaign modules that we'll throw out there, and you'll get a chance to see it once we pull out the full book. Hopefully, Lord willing, we get the full book out there. Regardless, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want more content like this, and we'll see you in the next video.
This is how we brew it. Jurassic Park, How to Train Your Dragon, The Princess Bride, Inception, Matrix, Mad Max, Fury Road, John Wick, Ghostbusters, Pokemon, Hunger Games, 28 days later.
Hey, thanks for watching our video. Like and subscribe if you like more content like this. And if you are so inclined, check out our Patreon. We'd love to thank and shout out our Patreon subscribers at our Follower of the Compass tier, Adorable Will, Fizz, and Matthew Matheny. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Welcome to the final countdown to ReachConf 2025. You better be grabbing your tickets as soon as possible. For the gamers, the video game building has over 10 TV and console combination stations with Smash tourneys. VR folks are going to have a Beat Saber tourney. There's going to be PC and game demos, arcade machines that are all free to play, a retro arcade, and an optional bring your own computer PC LAN for the PC folks. For the tabletop gamers, there's going to be a 50-person mega Dungeons & Dragons one-shot. Lots of tabletop space for all of the board games, and there's going to be room for the trading card gamers. If you want to bring your Magic cards, bring your Pokemon cards, battle it out, let's go. We're calling all the cosplayers in the group also. There's going to be a 360-degree photo shoot, a daily team shoot, and daily winners. And beyond that, there's going to be awesome game shows that the audience can be called in to win real prizes, content creator training events, industry talks, and more. So make sure you get your tickets to ReachConf 2025 today.